live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to April 3rd, 2025. I'm your host, TJ Riddell, and boy, oh boy, we have such a great month to discuss. We got the NFL draft coming up, so the draft special. We have draft rumors, draft trades, all this other stuff to talk about. NFL rules just came in. They're still talking about tush push, but I got a bone to pick about some other things. And then I'm bringing on a special guest in one of these episodes, or not episodes, but one of the podcast shows or whatever. But welcome back to the podcast, folks. For those that watch our shorts, watch our reels, watch whatever, I thank you, first of all. It has been an awesome reception from you guys. We've gotten a couple more subscribers. Let's bump that number up some more, man. Let's get some more subscribers in this fucking podcast, man. I'm excited. This month is going to be absolutely crazy for the Pigskin Mafia podcast because not only do we have the draft special, but we will be in Austin, Texas. And when I say we, I'm talking about myself, JMO, and two other guests that are going to come on, the Wilburn brothers. Everybody knows K-Dub. He's been around the show for a long time. Who will be making a comeback this year. And then his older brother, Nate, who is a part of the first iteration of the Pigskin Mafia podcast, which I'm excited for him because he gives a really good take on quarterback play. And honestly, one of the more talented quarterbacks that I've seen play in the high school level as far as 2A for Texas football. But I'm telling you guys, this month is going to be wild. Our special guest will be on April 17th at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's going to be a hell of a show. We're going to have several hell of shows. Now, this is the first podcast back that I'm on to actually talk about things and not just talk about the schedule, but talk about topics, okay? But next week, Tuesday, it will be myself and JMO coming back on regular scheduled time, whichever that is, because we're never on time. Let's just keep it real. And then April 17th, that's going to be the date to put on your calendar. April 17th is the day that we will bring on a special guest. So let me just repeat what I just said. First of all, tonight's the first podcast back. Next Tuesday, we will be on together, me, myself, and JMO. I like what I just did there. Me, myself, and Irene, but me, myself, JMO. So me and JMO will be back on together next Tuesday night, which is a couple days away, to talk about our thoughts on quarterbacks in the draft. And it's going to be crazy. And then April 17th, this is the big one right here for me. April 17th, what's going on? We got people in the chat already. What's going on, guys? So just a reminder, today's the first day back for the Pigskin Mafia podcast. We are going to be talking about a couple of things as far as like the NFL rule changes, the draft special, how that's going to be for those that have never experienced the draft special before. Let me tell you, it's long, tedious, and it will get you tired, especially if you're going to be talking like myself. So, no, I don't do those. But anyways, we are going to have the draft special April 24th. Thank you, Kiwis. I know I am. But we are going to have the draft special April 24th. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to be live in Austin, Texas, in an Airbnb, undisclosed Airbnb, because I don't want you weirdo fucks to come by and try to join the show. So I'm really intrigued to see what happens during the draft, how many draft trades are going to go on, because it seems like none of the teams are interested in quarterbacks right now. No team's really interested in quarterbacks in this year's draft, which is fucking nuts to me, because this just tells me how lackluster of a draft class this really is. And it's crazy because we got names like Jackson Dart, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, and Quinn Ewers in the mix. Even Tyler Shook, Will Howard, Jalen Milroe. We got so many. The comments are killing me right now. We have so many quarterbacks that have different distinctive talents, but in my opinion, there's no real difference as far as like talent evaluations, like who's better than who. And Billy, go over there, please. Go over there. Not tonight. I'm just really intrigued to see what happens in this year's draft as far as rookie quarterbacks. So let's go back to the schedule. Today, obviously, first day back, April 3rd. And then a couple days later, Tuesday night, it'll be me and JMO coming back on the pod, talk about quarterback play in the NFL draft. Like, who do we think Shedeur will go to? Which, by the way, for those that don't know, if you follow me on X or Facebook, show up where? What are you talking about? Bunch of weirdo fucks in the chat already. It's not even fucking midnight. It's 6:32. Anyway. Okay. I'm getting distracted here. So next Tuesday night, we'll be talking about the draft, the NFL draft QBs, which it's going to be quite brutal for me to talk about, because I have high expectations at quarterback play in the NFL. And let's be honest, the quarterback play in the NFL is kind of subpar compared to eras that I grew up in and the eras in the past, So I'm genuinely excited to talk about the draft special. And that's what I'm going to talk about now. April 24th. It's going to be insane. I am excited for it. Me and the two Wilburn brothers will be sitting probably on a sofa, probably watching the draft, and JMO's going to be in the ones and twos, try to come up with awesome graphics as he does. Shout out to JMO. Just an absolute workhorse. I gave him a hell of a break, in which I gave him the option to come on tonight or come on next week. So he'll be on next week for that. So the draft special is going to be fun. And for those that have never experienced the draft special, let me just say this. The draft special is fucking long. I'm talking 3 to 5 hours. I am going to tell you right now, you better have snacks, lunch, or dinner, or something to drink because it's going to be a fucking long show. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. And my next live is going to be Tuesday night, and that will be with JMO. So that's going to be fun. And then April 17th is going to be the big one before the NFL draft. Now, I'm not calling it the big one because that's such a cliche title. So I'm going to say this right now. I am super excited to have this guy come on to the show. He is one of the fastest growing high school coaches in the state of Texas right now. But he just got he just got hired on as a director of recruiting. This is insane to me. Like the amount of growth that this guy had. Um, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. So April 17th, mark this on your fucking calendars. April 17th, our special guest that will be coming on. His name, the new director of North Texas recruiting, Matthew McHugh. This is an honor. It is crazy. I honestly did not expect such a fast response to coming on to the show, and I'm super excited to hold up. So you say you love all my videos, but you don't know my name. That's crazy. Wow, that kind of killed the mood. But anyways, April 17th, mark it on your calendar. New director of recruiting for North Texas, the University of North Texas, Mean Green, Matthew McHugh is coming on to the show. I am pumped and I am excited because we're going to share some stories together. It's going to be fun. I'm going to ask him a couple of questions as far as the recruiting side of things. What I could learn about the recruiting side of things because I never really got recruited as a high school football athlete, which I think I was still in the wrong position. But you know what? That's fine. I don't care. But I'm really excited to have this guy on. He is he's such a brilliant mind. Him and his brother are really talented at what they do, and they do such a phenomenal job at what they do. And he absolutely earned that job. I am super excited for what he does for UNT. This is just an awesome moment for not only for myself but the area that I live in because he was a senior when I was a freshman when we went to high school in our town. I'm not going to disclose it just yet because you weirdos are going to find a way to go to that place. I'm really excited for this opportunity to have a brilliant offensive mind like this guy, Matthew McHugh, and such a phenomenal football player when I got to see him. But him and his brother both, I mean, just phenomenal football players and even better coaches. I tend to think both are phenomenal coaches. I wouldn't be surprised if either one or both get college football coaching jobs somewhere down the line. I mean, he's already the director of recruiting operations. So, which we're going to ask him more. What does that really entail besides just recruiting? So April 17, 2025, tune into that live because that's going to be a good live. There's going to be some laughs. There's going to be some really good questions about his story because I feel like that's important to know someone's story when we do interviews like that. Like we've had guests like Booby Miles come on. We've had Bailey Price and just other guys on that really made this podcast the way it is right now. What up, K-Dub? I was just about to talk about you again, buddy. But yeah, tune in April 17th, 2024, because I'm telling you what, folks, Matthew McHugh is going to bring some energy into this fucking podcast April 17th. And then a week later, Simhead Academy and his brother is going to be side by side next to me watching the draft, which Simhead Academy is K-Dub. We haven't done a draft special together in about 2 years, I think. Or no, actually, it would be 1 year. That's right, 1 year. One year without K-Dub on the podcast as far as that. I'm excited. I'm excited to do it in person. When was the last time we did the in-person podcast, Kata? Was it when I went to Waco and we were just chilling in an undisclosed area? But that's going to be fun. I'm telling you because there's going to be a lot of yeah. Which Kata is, I'm thinking about talking to him a little bit more after this show. Yeah, 3 years ago. That's insane. How time just flies by. Let's just hope Shador Sanders doesn't get drafted by the Cowboys so I don't have to buzz this off. Because I did put in a crazy bet again. So yeah, April 24th, draft special at 5:30. Yeah, 5:30 p.m. Central Time. I don't fucking remember. I'll remind myself again and talk about it again on the next live. All right, you're getting kicked because you're a fucking degenerate. Timeout for 24 hours. Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. I just saw it and I wasn't gonna talk about that. Look, I like Joe Milton too. The problem is he doesn't fit within the Cowboys offense, which we don't really know what Brian Schottenheimer's got schemed up, which if last year was any indication of what the Cowboys offense was, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on. I never really was high on the Brian Schottenheimer hire because that was kind of indoors, and I'd much rather spend another year with Mike McCarthy than having Brian Schottenheimer call the shots. But that's just me. I hope he really does well. It means that we're not getting a quarterback in the draft, so thank God for that. I am excited to see where a lot of people go though in this draft. And I'm talking about organizations as well. You know what? I think this year is Dak's do or die season. I know he just had a contract extension or whatever, but here's the deal. I think that this is his last chance to get the Cowboys to the promised land, which is the Super Bowl, or he's out of the job. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I think the Cowboys, if they get like a mid first round pick and there's an opportunity to trade up for a first pick, and they end up going with Arch, I think that's the plan. But I don't know. I genuinely don't know why Dallas continues to have mid off seasons where Philadelphia and Washington keep building up with underrated talent and just rebuilding. You know, it's insane to me how crazy this division is right now. The Giants haven't been fucking doing shit, but getting fucking weirdo fucks. I think it's a Philly versus Washington division next year or this year. I don't think Dallas or the Giants have a chance in hell to even compete in this division. I think that's a fight for third place, but Washington and Philly are a fight for the first seed in the division or the first number one team in the division, which I think Philadelphia, in my opinion, is the favorite to win it. Again, go back to back. But I don't know. I kind of like the Rams this season too. Like, I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of the Rams. They're very underrated in my opinion as far as the rest of the NFC goes. I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit did go on a decline this season. Green Bay kind of be the same thing. Yeah, I think we just need a hard reset in Dallas. I mean, geriatric fuck Jerry just loves to coddle players. That's no secret. But Joe Milton to the Cowboys, that was a very interesting trade. I'm not really mad about it. I'm just like confused about it. Like Joe Milton doesn't fit in that type of offense. If it's the same offense I'm thinking about this season or this past season, uh, I feel like Joe Milton fits more into like a maybe a Nick Sirianni type or shit. I don't even know, man. Like he's uber talented. I don't think he's like the best accurate passer. Like he's to me, his passing is subpar. Like he's below average. Like as far as accuracy, like he's got a cannon on him. Let's make that clear. He has a fucking cannon on him. But got some in my eye. Jesus. Yeah, I got something in my eye, but I could go through it. I don't know. It was just fucking confusing to me. Caleb, who are your top 5 running backs right now as far as the draft is concerned? If you're still on, because I want to know your top 5 picks of the draft for running backs, because there's only 3 running backs I actually like, but there's also a back that really could open the door up for himself, I think, because he wasn't the starter at Texas, but he was pretty good. Jaden Blue. if he goes to the right team. But other than that, there's really no running backs I see that are either going to be starter or in the league much longer than 3 years. Because let's just face it, the running back position in the NFL is so replaceable. I mean, we've seen it so many times with the Cowboys. We've seen it happen in Jacksonville. We've seen it happen elsewhere. Even in Kansas City. It's insane to me. But I don't know. I just think this draft is kind of watered down. And I'm looking at some rookie sleepers right now, too. They got a kid from Washington State. So you got Genty, Hampton, Judkins, Caleb Johnson, and Cam Scatterbo. I like that. I actually do like that, Caleb. I also like Quintravion Hendrickson out of Ohio State as well. Quinshon Judkins, I think, is more an NFL archetype than Travion Henderson, because I feel like that he fits that build as a NFL running back as far as full time. I think Travion Henderson is more or less like a third down back, kind of like a Cam Scatterbo. I think Cam Scatterbo would be more beneficial for the third down. I think Judkins is a better back. No doubt. I think Caleb Johnson is a sleeper, though. So we'll keep our eyes out on the Hawkeye, Caleb Johnson. And also, like I said, Jaden Blue as well. I think he could make an impact in the passing game. Could be used as a utility back or maybe a fucking motion man or something. I don't know. I just feel like if he goes to the right team, it's like a lot of these quarterbacks, but with running backs, they're so irreplaceable. It's not even funny. Receivers, I'm not really high on the receivers this year. I'm really not. There's like 2 or 3 that really stick out to me. I think if you go back and watch the Steve Smith video where he explains about Tutoria McMillan, I don't think he's all that. I think that he is probably in the top 5 as far as receiving or receivers, but he's not the best one. He was a year prior, but he wasn't this year. And I genuinely think that he, after he said what he said about film, his draft stock just dropped, and Matthew Golden and Emeka Egbuka can jump up in front of him, and also Luther Burden, who I love, by the way. I love watching Luther Burden, especially his route running. I love watching Luther Burden. And Steve Smith also brought up Jalen Knoll out of Iowa State. That's a good one, too. And Xavier Huggins as well. But, yeah, this receiving core or this receiver draft is kind of stale, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see, brother. But, yeah, tune in next Tuesday with just me and JMO. We will be live probably around 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 6:30 Pacific for JMO, because we also have to go by Pacific because he lives in Nevada. Okay? And then same thing for April 17th. Tune into that one first before you hit the draft special. I'm telling you, this one's gonna be fun. Matthew McHugh, director of North Texas recruiting will be on the show. He will be on the show. I'll give updates if he has something going on or something's come up to where he can't come on for very long or can't come on at all. But we are expecting him to come on April 17th. I'm super excited. I'm genuinely pumped about this because that dude went to the same high school as I did, and we known each other for a long time. Great dude. Him and his brother both. Really excited to talk to him about a lot of things, especially what he does for the communities around this area. So I'm really excited to talk about that with him, and also recruiting, the difference in getting kids recruited and recruiting kids now, or what does he expect the difference is, which I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped about that one. And then, of course, the staple of the Pigskin Mafia podcast, the P&P's draft special. 4th year of doing this shit. 4 years of doing the draft special. How fucking nuts is that? 4 years of doing this shit. The motherfucking draft special. Holy shit. And we've seen some pretty crazy moves happen. We've seen what I think is considered one of the best trades I've seen live on the Pigskin Mafia podcast. Probably 2 years ago, Caleb, or maybe even 3. A.J. Brown going to the Eagles from the Titans was probably one of the greatest moves I've seen and in the draft. So you're going to see some exciting stuff, or you're going to hear me ramble about how shitty this draft really is, because I keep it real 100%. And I'm sure Caleb and Nate are going to do the same fucking thing, because we like to joke around a little bit. And let's just say there will be some delicious drinks made. I'm excited. I am fucking pumped about this month. And then after the draft special, we will be live again Tuesday night, a week or less than a week later. That Tuesday night, we will be live again, kind of give our draft analysis. And it's going to be a fun time this month. And then after that, we will be off for a week, come back on a week, and we're going to do 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off until August. And that's when we'll be back week to week. Now, in between those bye weeks is what I'm going to start calling them. I am going to push out shorts of me talking about certain things coming from my TikTok, which you could tune into that as well at TJReed10_PMP. I'm fucking pumped, man. This is the best month to work, in my opinion, as far as doing the NFL podcasting NFL podcasting and evaluation. It just sucks that I can't evaluate the spring games because a couple of teams are canceling their spring games, and there's just a lot of shit going on right now as far as that. But I do have to address something real quick. So there was an incident that happened in Frisco, Texas. This was, and I hate to bring good news into bad news. I hate to bring positive into negative mood swings. So here it is. So there was a track meet going on in Frisco, Texas, right? And this young man or this young kid who was 16 years old, junior in Frisco Memorial. Okay. And for those that don't know where Frisco, Texas is, that's where the Cowboys have their training camps and whatnot. So this was about as stupid could get as far as an argument, and it turned into a violent altercation. So this one kid named Carmelo Anthony, ironically, starts with a K, but it's Carmelo Anthony. 17 years old. He sits in the Frisco Memorial tent where he's not supposed to be, and remind you, Austin Metcalf, the kid that is the victim in this, him and his twin brother Hunter Metcalf, who responded to this kid asking him to leave. He said, "Make me leave." Austin Metcalf grabbed his bag and moved his bag out of the tent. What happened next is probably the most disturbing thing as far as a sibling is concerned, or just a human being in general. If you got a heart or anything, it's disturbing. And this happened in a track meet, a UIL track meet. So Carmelo Anthony ends up stabbing this kid. Stabs the kid because he moved his bag out of the spot after asking politely for him to leave. Stabbed Austin Metcalf and bled him to death. Meanwhile, his brother Hunter is holding him in his arms, trying to stop the bleeding, and it's too late. Carmelo Anthony's arrested, ruined his life. One thing I will say is what I found about Carmelo Anthony, a different Carmelo Anthony, the 17-year-old. He was posting weird subliminal shit the night before it happened, or 16 hours before it happened, or whatever, or 11 hours before it happened. It doesn't matter. He was saying that the football field may be the field I play on, but it's not the field that I belong in, or something like that. And that was an Instagram post. And then had a gun. Couldn't really see what the gun was. Probably an AR or something. But the point is, here's what I got to say about that kid, Carmelo Anthony. He's obviously disturbed. He's obviously been through a lot of things in life to where it made him a psychopath and just a sick individual. I'm not condoning what he did, but I would ask people to pray for that young man to find Jesus, or that young kid to find Jesus. I hate to say it, but it looks like it's already too late for the kid. But that kid probably went through some shit, probably doesn't have a dad, probably, let's be real, like, this is a real conversation, like, and this happens quite a bit. Not at a track meet, but it happens quite a bit. Individuals like this usually have parental problems, probably have issues with abandonment, being abandoned, Okay? I genuinely think that that kid is throwing out his frustrations about his life towards others. And again, I'm not condoning what he did. It is sick. It is vile. It is disgusting. But I am going to put blame on not only him, because he did make the choice. Let's make that perfectly clear. He made the choice to do it. But I'm also putting blame on the parents. Where are the parents in this situation? Where are the parents in his life? Because I'm telling you right now, and before anybody says anything, this is not a race issue. This is a society issue. We live in a society where it's okay for the younger generation, and hear me out, because my generation is a part of this too. And people have had arguments about the younger NFL talent, younger NBA talent, not respecting their elders because why the elders don't respect us. So why should we respect them? It goes like that in life too. You have to respect your elders no matter what. I'm telling you, I may not seem like the traditionalist because I've seen things and all this other stuff, but when it comes to this stuff, what are the parents in this? Because this is a lack of parenting. This is a lack of just moral compass for this young kid. 17 years of age and ruined his life. He won't have anything in life anymore because he murdered a kid over a spot, over a seat that he didn't belong in because that is not his team. That is not his school. And I've been to several track meets. Caleb has too. And I'm sure JMO has as well. And it's okay to commingle with other schools, but the kid was looking for problems. The kid was looking to start something with somebody so that way he would have his issues taken out on that other individual. And it unfortunately happened to a great kid. And I read about Austin too, and now I'm jumping into Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf was a great kid. Had just under a 4.0 GPA. He was also in the National Honor Society. He was in the National Honor Society. My sister was in the National Honor Society. So that's why this hits me a little harder in some way. Okay? And was just a great kid overall. Nobody said a bad thing about this kid. And for that to happen to that kid, I am sending out my prayers. I'm sending out my prayers to that family, the Metcalf family, Jeff Metcalf, who obviously made a GoFundMe page. You can go find it. You can Google it for Austin Metcalf. I genuinely agree with you, Caleb. I'm going to repeat what he said. He said, "It's sad, man. Life is full of decisions, and the wrong one, and most definitely his last. It's a terrible situation for both parties. I hope this brings light out of it all for everyone to see. I agree, 100%, 1,000%. And what kills me is that there's not enough media going around this particular topic. It's mind-boggling to me. Like, you don't see Fox News talking about it. You don't see CNN. You don't see CSNBC. You only see the New York Times. And I'm going to tell you right now, for the mainstream media to not post this shit out is a complete mockery of media. And some people want to talk about race with this. And I'm going to be completely honest. This has nothing to do with race. This has to do with today's society. We're too enabled to tell anybody that they're wrong, first of all. We're too enabled to tell anybody no. And this is on the parenting side. I'm not even a parent, but I'm going to say it anyway. We're too enabled to say no to a kid. That's why you see people in the fucking transfer portal within 13 minutes after they lose a basketball game in the NCAA tournament. That's why you see kids jump into the portal before a playoff game. That's why you see so many kids in the fucking transfer portal after a spring game. This is why I have issues with the transfer portal. Because we allow things to happen. And what is the result? Life situations like the Austin Metcalf situation. But here we are, non-caring assholes of America. I hope you're listening to this. We allow kids to jump into the portal because they can't stay in the school because they don't have the starting spot. Look at TJ Finley, for example. Transferred from 2 SEC schools to, I don't know, one Conference USA, which was Western Kentucky. All right, let me go down the list. Auburn, LSU, Western Kentucky, Texas State, Tulane. And then what happened just today, by the way? He got arrested for stealing vehicles. And yet, the common casual is going to say, well, the transfer portal has nothing to do with the horrific situation happened to Austin Metcalf. Yeah, it does. As far as society goes, it does. It has everything to do with what's going on in today's society. We allow people to just do whatever they want in the transfer portal. And what happens? They get arrested for stealing cars. They stab another kid in the fucking chest, have him bleed out to death on the fucking track, in the track meet, because he got told he's not allowed to sit there because he's wearing different colors. Not because of his color, because he's wearing different colors. I'm sick of these fucking people in the mainstream media who twist everything to make it race baiting. Ryan Clark. I'm telling you, man, like, this is a sad situation for many reasons. A father lost a son. A mother lost a son. A twin brother lost a twin brother. And then on the flip side, a son lost his life due to a stupid decision because he's entitled. And the parents, where are they at? Silent. They don't care. They knew he was trouble anyway, right? I don't know, folks. If you guys really think that the transfer portal or NIL has nothing to do with this, then you're a fucking idiot. You're a goddamn idiot. And yes, they're high schoolers. I get it. They're not collegiate athletes. They're not student athletes. As far as college level, they're not getting paid NIL. Here's the problem. What if that Carmelo Anthony kid was receiving offers from D1 schools? What if he was receiving offers and was getting a NIL evaluation or valuation? Huh. Don't you think it kind of runs through a kid's head? Especially a kid that is clearly troubled, that doesn't know the consequences of his own actions. Well, he does know the consequences of his own actions, but chooses to do it anyway. It's sad, man. It's really sad. Again, I hope that the Metcalf family, they're at ease, they're at peace. I will be praying for them tonight before I go to sleep. I just, it's a sad situation, guys. It really is. I absolutely hate it when I have to talk about this type of shit. I really do. I want the best for everybody. I really do. I want the best for the younger generation too. But the problem is the generation today, this generation today, is so me, want, instead of grind, get. Caleb can tell you that we had to grind our way to get where we were at as far as football players, as far as kids in school, and a lot of us bust our ass. And I hate to say this, but our generation sucked too in that regard because we'd always ask questions like, why do I got to do this? Why do I got to do that? At least our coaches busted our balls, so to speak, to get us on the right path. I feel like today's era of football, or realistically athlete, doesn't really give a shit about either the school, the coach, or anything. Now I'm not saying all players think that way. I'm just saying the generational logic, because there's obviously quite a few players and kids in this generation that think otherwise. But there's just a lot of trouble with this generation. Like they don't know what life is, and when they think they know life, they want to challenge you. They want to just absolutely tell you how wrong you are, but realistically, you're telling them, I'm just telling you to stop doing that shit. Shit's gonna end up killing you. And what happens? it's another tragedy in sports that nobody's really talking about but us and a couple others. On a lighter note, I want to talk more about the draft special, which will be April 24th, live in Austin. So Austin, Texas, be there. We will be live in an Airbnb, undisclosed Airbnb in Austin. And let me just tell you, it's going to be a fun fucking night. Thursday night, because me, K-Dub, and his brother Nate, we're going to have some good drinks, and we're going to be talking about some good shit about football. And we may bring up something about the past, about Nate's playing days, and also our playing days, mine and K-Dub's, and also J-Mo's playing days. And everybody's going to be involved in this, obviously, but J-Mo, unfortunately, can't fly out to Austin right away because he's still in school, folks, so give him a break. At least he's doing the camera work. I'm just the one talking. But honestly, without J-Mo, I think we would have had a shitty draft special, because the last time I tried to do a draft special, it was pixelated. So I thank J-Mo for participating in this again and participating for the Pigskin Mafia podcast once again. And K-Dub, I am glad that you're going to be back on again. Nate, I am glad that you're going to be back on with us as well. This is going to be a fun fucking time. This is going to be a fun fucking month. I am excited. Let's fucking get it, boys and girls. It's going to be a fun time. Make sure to tune in for the draft special. Also, tune in April 17th before you tune in to the draft special, because myself and J-Mo will be interviewing the director of recruiting for North Texas University of North Texas, Mean Green, Matthew McHugh, April 17th. And it's going to be a fun show, boys and girls, because it's going to be awesome. This month is going to be amazing. And K-Dub, I can't wait to see you, brother, in person and also on the PMP. I wonder what our alcohol level will be by the end of the fucking show during that time, because holy shit, it's gonna be crazy. So we're just over a minute left on the show. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Pigskin Mafia podcast. Even the trolls out there that want to talk about loving my videos but don't know my name. Yeah, we'll be seated for sure. I'm genuinely excited for the growth of this content, and also this podcast, because we're going to be hitting the road running this month. There's going to be a lot of content being pushed out this month, and then May, June, July is going to be kind of a saltine type of time where we will have a podcast every other week, but there will be shorts being pushed out almost every week. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is going to be an incredible month. I'm fucking pumped. You should be fucking pumped. Let's fucking go. We are the PMP. Good night. Mwah! And good night. Bang. Toodaloo, motherfucker.